What's up, everyone? So today I have the MCS Box Mag. Okay, we're gonna go over its features, its price point, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. So let's get into this review and see what it's all about. Okay, so why would you need a box mag over a hopper? Well, first of all, if you have something like this T15 that's, you know, 1-to-1 ratio here, you're gonna want something that actually matches the profile of the gun, not this big hopper on top. It just looks better, you know, if you're able to add it onto here. Okay, this doesn't fit because it's not for this gun, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Okay, so it just fits the profile. All right, it looks cool. It's part of the realism of it, and instead of having this loader on top that hinders your vision, it's underneath, keeping the weight low, and it feeds your ammo just as efficient as if it was gravity fed or electronically driven through the top. Okay, all right, so let's get into why I picked this up and why it doesn't fit. Okay, so these things will run you around the $170 range plus tax. All right, which is no easy task to purchase. Okay, I mean, that's something, a big pill to swallow there. All right, also you're gonna probably have to pay shipping. This one I got second hand, so I did not pay nearly as close to that, like far from that. That's why I purchased this. Originally what I was gonna do was buy the BT loader, which this is, and then build off of there. MCS, I did contact them and they said that they would sell me that, okay, for $100 if I decided to purchase that, and then design my own, which I'm gonna use this and do the same because I'm not a fan of the way it looks as of now. Okay, but we'll get into that later. All right, so basically this is a BT loader with an addition on the side and a way to keep the balls from falling out. All right, so why doesn't this fit mine? Well, this is made for an M17 paintball marker, and as you can see by the feed, it's a big old circle tube. Okay, this will not fit in my gun. But the nice thing about this design is they made one design, and these feed necks here will just slide out, and you can replace them with whatever profile you need. I'm gonna see on the price on how much it costs. If it's cheap for me to buy it, then I may just purchase the top piece. But if not, I'll 3D print my own and customize it myself like I do everything else. Okay, all it is a straight tube here, and this is just to chuck up in your mag well. So not too much, you know, on the design as far as how critical it is to make something like this. A lot of people will just take 1/2-inch pipe, run it through, run it right next to a piece of 2x4 and do their setup like that. So it's, you know, not really precision made if you need to makeshift your own. Okay, so I got this really cheap. Everything's there. I actually got the whole thing cheaper than it would cost me to make, or just to buy the BT loader. Okay, so now let's get into its features and what I'm going to change. Okay, so let's go over its features. So you got your Cadora on the outside. Okay, you got your molly webbing with the Velcro strap on both sides. They unravel or unfold. I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe to strap down some items alongside. I don't know. Maybe it's just for looks. You got a cutaway here to access your power and stuff, where your regular BT button would be if this wasn't on it. You have a flap here with a Velcro piece here. You have a clip that's spring loaded here, so that way you could, I don't know, remove it. It's a pull tab, whatever you want to call it. And then you got your loader, which I'll take measurements on, so that way you know how big this is, how much volume you're gonna get. Okay, so you got your BT loader, you have a plate. I guess the earlier generations did not have a flat plate in there, so all your balls would accumulate around these corners, which to me isn't a bad thing because you could shake it, and when you shake it like so, those balls will jump up into the top of the hopper and refeed. Okay, so that wasn't a big issue. So, but a lot of people made it an issue. I kind of like to have that extra capacity of, you know, allowing them to fall down, but to each is their own. This piece in here is sloped, it looks like, in this angle. That leads me into one of the designs I probably am going to change. I'm going to probably cup it like so that way it could feed in directly always without having any movement. I'm sure this will feed just fine. Okay, of course I'm going to make my own here, get all that done. And then you have a bolt here that allows this to be removed. You have a bolt here that takes this whole thing off. So all this stuff is just real easy and quick to assemble and disassemble. This is a pretty good design, to be honest. It's real simple for what it is. It costs a lot, but it actually works. Okay, so that's the main thing, is getting something to work that looks aesthetically pleasing. So now let's take the dimensions of this. It is structurally hard, so I'm thinking it's a plastic box that they just wrap all this stuff in. Okay, I'm not fond of a box design. Maybe I'll do like some type of slope to go with the profile of my gun. Maybe something that kind of follows this profile, so that way I make it longer and maybe sleeker, maybe come off on the left side, so that way I could like really get it flush up against this edge. Maybe create some contours here so that way it like fits right on it. And I could have this area open because it's going to go this way, so that way it's not, my finger's not crammed inside of here. That's not an issue. I mean, some people think it's an issue, but to be honest, it really isn't. You're not going to be dropping this like a mag. You should be just filling it like a hopper, so I don't see the issue in that. So me being right-handed, this may be okay. So if it's up in here, it's out of my way and my support hand's able to grab the mag well still. Okay, but for lefties, that might be an issue. Who knows? Having it on this side if you're trying to grip it around the mag well. So I might make one that's ambidextrous where you could just remove the tube here and then swap it out. I don't know, we'll see. Especially if people are interested in me designing something for lefties. All right, that's not most of the world, but hey, it is a portion of them. Okay, so the goal for this is to redesign it. I kind of like to put my touch on everything. Not saying that this is bad, but I want to utilize probably this whole entire area, maybe create something that slopes up in this area where, so my hand's here, so I got all this extra area, maybe a little bit higher here, so that way I get more shots, but we'll see. So let's go over what you have here as far as measurements are concerned. You do have your little assist rotating device here, so if anything gets jammed. But let's measure this out for you. You're looking at, for length here, 5 1/4 from here to here. The inside, the actual use space is 4 3/4. Okay, the outside is 3 3/4 from here to here, and the actual use space is 3 1/4 from inside. As far as your depth is concerned, you're looking at 2 1/4 from this plate to the top, and then since it slopes down, you might get more. You get a 1/16 of an inch, so there's a 1/16 of an inch slope. Okay, so you get an additional 1/16 on this side. So I'm gonna be changing up that plate too, because the whole design's gonna probably change. Okay, so to make this thing run, you just hold the button down here, and that's how you program the settings too. So after a few blinks, you could program it. You got, I think, green, yellow, and red, which are the different sensitivities. They have videos on how to program it. And basically what that allows you to do is, since this is audible, so it picks up on the audio, when this is like tapped or shot, it'll spin. And the higher the sensitivity is on this, the more it'll spin. So the faster it'll spin on any little tiny pickup of audio. Okay, So that's that portion. That's how this feeds. It's not like a continuous run. So you can see that. Okay. So I don't know if you could see that, but that thing's spinning. I don't know if you can see the inside. Okay. Then you just hold down the power and it'll turn off. So, oh, and then also your batteries are replaced in there, just like the original BT loader. Okay. Okay, so for the verdict, do I recommend this? At that $179 or $169 to $200 plus tax and shipping. If you really are interested in a box loader, then yeah, I mean, it works for what it is. They did all the research and development to give you a product, and yeah, by all means. Me personally, would I have paid that? No. I was already looking to build my own, so I was looking at buying their hopper and then building my own stuff on top of that. But I mean, with that comes actually knowledge of you knowing how to build stuff, and so your typical consumer will not be able to do that. So purchasing an item like this, already done, finished, and tested, is a good option. But yeah, so it just depends on who you are. So that's going to complete today's video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. If you want to see content like this, what I'm going to do with this, and other content I'll be posting in the near future, consider subscribing. Until next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.